Okay, welcome, Mifu. So I'm not going to bother with her basic attack because basic attack has no specialty right now. Battle skill is called Qingbo Triplex. So this is the first unit that they're releasing where their skill can be upgraded. So the skill actually has 3 parts, and all 3 parts needs to use SP in order to be used. And they are in succession. You can't like go back to skill 1 after you've used it. You have to go from first phase to second phase to third phase. So the first phase is called Cloud Trapper. So Cloud Trapper lets you pull enemies to herself. This means they're introducing the concept of weight in this game. So certain enemies with lower weight can be pulled by her and they will get into a rage. So she can pull multiple people at a time. So we now have a new person that is Gilberta. You know, like how Gilberta is someone that can pull people into the vortex in a sense. Now we have someone that can pull towards yourself. Although it's again dependent on the enemy's weight. Pretty good. So if the enemy cannot be pulled, she will pull herself to the enemy. The interesting thing about Mifu is that I don't know if she's very good against a lot of the current enemies that are released in Endfield, because a lot of the regular and boss enemies of the game right now kind of benefits that you stand away from them because they kind of have too much annoying melee attacks. So I feel like she might struggle with the current enemies in the game more, because like why would you want to get closer to the enemy? And perhaps in the future when they release a region or more maps that have ranged enemies, it might be more good that you get close to them. So if the skill is activated, then you'll get a second phase of the skill. So the unique thing is that if you take a look at the video, look at the bottom right of this video. So you use the skill. After the skill is used, you notice that the symbol of the skill change on the bottom right. And there's now a timer. So this is to indicate that you're now able to summon the second skill. If you want to use it within the timer. If you don't use it within that timer, it goes back to the first skill. So the second skill takes half SP. The first skill takes 1 SP, but the second skill takes half. Wait, no! Both skills take half. Oh! He's the first unit in the game that uses half SP. Like, you can choose not to use a second skill. You can just use a first skill to utility, pull the enemy in, and ignore using second and third for damage. That's very, very interesting. So users... Okay, so the thing is, it's a crush. So crush would require vulnerability in order to do so. I assume you need vulnerability. Can you do it without? No, wait, no. If you do it without, then it will cause a vulnerable stack, like 1. But if there's 1 stack or 2 stack, it will perform crush. On 3 stack, it will also perform crush, but there's something special about her if you were to do that. So if you cost 3 stacks worth of vulnerability and you cost the crush, then her third skill will become available. So again, you can see that because of her third skill, there's now a new symbol change on the bottom right again, and there's a new timer to indicate to you you can now use the third skill. If you run out of time, it goes back to the first skill. So you kind of get double crush. Crush is basically a huge amount of physical damage. The difference of the second crush and the first crush is because crush usually depends on the amount of vulnerable stacks. This one is just a big damage regardless if there's any stack or not. So it's just more damage basically. You don't have to think of it as like, what does the crush do? It's just third skill big damage. So you always kind of want to chase for 3 vulnerable stacks so that you can trigger her skills to the best. Does it use half SP as well? Yes. So she's the first unit that has half SP skills, but if you treat her skill as a single skill, then it's 1.5. 1.5 total or 0.5 each. It depends on what you want to think about it. She seems SP friendly. What about SP regen? There's nothing SP regen related. She's not a vanguard, guys. She's a guard. Yeah, I feel like she's so stagger. Like, her stagger rate must be quite high. we don't have the numbers now, but I'd imagine that she might be in the top ranking for providing stagger meter based on the skills that we're reading. Because like Crush gives a lot of stagger, doesn't it? Yeah, imagine pairing her with Sundered Prince. Maybe you wouldn't even pair her with the main weapon. You might end up giving her Sundered Prince if she could. We have to see how good the new weapon is.
换作触发了猛击的物理异常，正常提升本次的伤害。
Yeah.
诸如原始记忆强度等属性将能够正常提升本次的伤害。
So if you didn't know, Art's intensity in this game buffs various statuses like electrification, corrosion, combustion. But one things that player don't really realize is Art's intensity apparently also contributes to breach and crush. So basically what Ra just said is, if you have Art's intensity gear, it will enhance the damage of the crush. So you know how crush is stronger based on vulnerable stacks. The second crush doesn't care about vulnerable stacks, right? But if you have an Art's intensity gear, it will make that damage even bigger. So that's why I think the new gear that they're giving to Mifu will have a purpose, since there's a new gear set in this patch.
连续技全出无悔，伴有敌人达到3层破
So her combo skill triggers when there's 3 or more stacks.
防击以上时，米芙一记上勾拳痛击前方的敌人，对其
Deals damage and applies physical susceptibility.
且随后可以在一段时间里直接衔接第2段战绩追行。细心的管理员
Wait, what? No! Stop! No way! No freaking way! If you trigger a combo skill, the first phase of her skill is gone. It goes into the second phase. You lose the pooling phase. So yeah, it's a shortcut. And combo skills don't take SP. Huh. Wait, she's more interesting than I think. So immediately you can go into the second phase of the skill, which means that you can cause the crush, and because it has 3 stacks, you already will easily cause the third move to do a big damage.
这意味着触发米芙的连续技后，是非常容易再追加2段和3段战绩，打出一套伤害不俗的小连招的。
The way I see of this is that I feel like most regular players will no longer think about the first phase of a skill. Like absolute casual users of Mifu might not think about how to use her first skill, and instead they will be constantly prioritizing the combo into the second skill and the third skill, completely ignoring the first. But I feel like the people who want to be better Mifu users will be thinking how to use the first skill. As in like, basically when there's wave of enemies, you need to think about the first skill. That's how you are differentiating yourself as a little bit of a better player. You can do better skill 1 into better skill 2 and 3. Like you can, but then it's also like, you're not really taking advantage of the fact that the combo skill skips the first. You can use the first skill first to pull, then you start bashing everything in there. Then eventually, like basically the battle by starts with the first skill use, and then you never use it again because the enemies are already grouped. And then you just need to repeat combo second, third, combo second, third. So yeah. Can pull stagger enemy. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. Will pull stop an enemy from attacking? It might. I think it can stop a melee unit. Like, it can definitely stop a melee enemy from attacking. Wait, when Mifu is not a control operator, and you are operating someone else, and you use her skill, can Mifu protect your unit from taking damage? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, let's say you have Pogranishnik, control operator, and you have Mifu in the team. If you use Mifu's skill just before an enemy is attacking your Pogranishnik as a control, does she pull them away? If so, that's a very cool way to negate an enemy's attack. Yeah, if it's a boss, she doesn't pull them away. She's just gonna jump on the boss. But if it's like a normal enemy that she can actually pull, it's a very unique way to prevent the enemy from attacking. That is very creative for the game. So I really like that. That there is some very big uniqueness in terms of strategy that you can go with.
终极技决心，米芙短暂蓄力后向前方冲刺，强制击飞前方所有敌人，狠狠将其砸向地面，造成物理伤害。且随后
Wait, she lifts enemies and dives enemy down, so she's basically 大盘 the second, double vulnerable stack.
也可以在一段时间内直接衔接第2段战绩追行。
Also can both her combo. Oh, it's only 1 stack. Okay, it's not 2, it's just 1. Okay, so not 大盘 the second, 1 vulnerable stack on her out. But both her combo and her out will skip the first skill.
战绩追行，米芙的终极技本身可以造成较高的10分值伤害，也
It's
可以
high stagger damage on the out. Okay.
在关键时刻补充重要的破防层数，让管理员们触发第2段战绩时的效果更加顺畅。 我们就通过实战视频来了解一下米芾在战场中的表现吧。首先啊，是由米芾领头的物理队来挑战影通风杯玩法。
We're gonna look at the teams that they use
想
to
必
pair
大家
with
都还对
Mifu.
这一关中无法被控制的莉莉者弩兵，他们全部拉至身前。随后配合二段战绩和其他战员，我们先用米。
This is her using. Sorry, this is them using Mifu instead of Gilberta on this previous Umbral Monument stage. So they use her first skill to pull them in.
全部拉至身前。随后配合二段战绩和其他干员。And
then just spam all the other people's skill to trigger a combo, use a skill, do big damage, replenish farm the
因为
SP.
刚刚我们打出了二段战绩，消耗了3层破防，我们可以立即衔接第3段战绩，让3名敌人在开场时便受到重创。
Okay, interesting. So they use her second skill for the first wave of enemies, but you don't have to use the third skill on the same wave of enemies. You can use it on someone else, and that someone else will take the big crush damage. And it doesn't care about whether the enemy has stacks or not. You can save that third skill to someone that has no stacks. So that's why the worm is taking big damage. Pretty creative.
衔接第3段战绩，让3名敌人在开场时便受到重创。我们发动俊位和于禁的终结技后，立即发动米芾的终结技，为目标施加1层破防。同时，陈的连接技和战技也对目标施加了另外2次破防。
So the fast racing
启动了。
Mifu's combo.
二段战绩乘胜追击。
Mifu's combo seems fairly fast. How long does it take?
我们继续衔接二段战绩，乘胜追击，立即击倒了1名敌人。哈哈，
I think it's the same time as
跑不了。让我们找好一个角度，释放第3段战绩，一阵猛烈的拳风呼啸而出，同时击倒了2名敌人，完美收场。接下来来看看对战残暴的巨兽天。
So Mifu is a very interesting one. It seems easy. I think there's a little bit of a. You can be a person that plays it like a simple-minded like player, where you just think, oh, okay, combo and out launches into skill every time 3 vulnerable stacks, spam skill. But if you want to be more meticulous with your timing of Mifu in order to put the damage in places and enemies that you want, you can actually do so. Just be a bit more controlled, aim at this enemy, give it the big crush.
开场，我们先借助洛希的战绩与连接技。
So Mifu would technically not be very popular with arts teams, but you could make it happen for 2 reasons. One, you could maybe pair her with Cryo if you want to do a solidification shatter team, and then you make Mifu the person to shatter. If you shatter and crush at the same time, I believe that's a huge amount of damage. So that's something you could try to do, like a Tang Tang into a Lash or Yvonne. Yvonne's very weird. But yeah, you could do a Tang Tang into a Lash or Yvonne, and then have Mifu there, and Chen. Holy shit, SP deficient as hell. Estella? Can Estella cause solidification? Need to figure some way to do this. Estella wants to eat the solidification, yeah, but the point is I want to make Mifu the one to crush the solidification. So no, you want like Tang Tang with someone that solidifies, like Yvonne or Alash. I guess Alash is fine, because Alash will provide SP for the team. And then once you have Alash, you get Mifu in play, you need some vulnerable applicator. So if that were the case, you could put Gilberta and Mifu in the same team. Then you have double the suction. Yeah, Mifu, Tang Tang, Alash, Gilberta. Gilberta can provide vulnerable stack. Mifu is somewhat self-sufficient as well, because you can use her skill to still provide a vulnerable stack. Like her second skill, if there's no stacks on the enemy, you can create 1 stack with the crush, right? And then Gilberta does the lift in order to give more stacks in play. That's an idea. Otherwise, you could put Chen in order to produce someone that can easily give 2 vulnerable stacks. And that's kind of it. But those teams are weirder, you see. Like, I'm struggling to name them because it's so unconventional. But then again, we're also looking at another unconventional team right over here, which the idea of this team, I would say, is they're trying to make Rossi and Mifu skills pop up a lot more, because it's a double Vanguard team with Akekuri and Proganishnik.
使其迅速进入3层破防，随后发动米芾的连接技，对其施加物理脆弱状态。由于天赋的加持，米芾将在连接技后获得护盾，并在护盾持续期间，
Okay,
由于天赋的加持，
Mifu's
米芾将在连接技后
talent states that she gains a shield using her combo skill.
获得护盾，并在护盾持续期间获得更强的抗打断能力。
Gains increased resistance to interruption. Oh, so an enemy cannot cancel her skill? Wait, that's a different kind of shield, right? Ember can still be interrupted, but she can continue hitting the enemy if they hit her while she has the shield.
紧接着，我们释放秋丽的终结技，恢复一定技力，并衔接米芾的终结技。
Hey, smart
施加一
reading
层
me.
破防的同时，
Thank
造
you
成了大量的失衡值
for
伤
reading
害
me.
刚好使敌人进入失衡状态。我们乘胜追击，对目标进
Okay,
行
continue
辅助攻击
reviewing.
后，配合秋丽和洛西的技能，再次使敌人进入3层破防状态。大家别忘了，米芾在释放终结技后，可以直接衔接第2段战技，一通战技连招输出后，天谷巨兽甚至还没来得及进入愤怒状态，便化为了灰烬。
Okay, so after just seeing, basically they have an Akikuri that can apply heat infliction that triggers Rossi's combo quite a bit more, which will then transfer that into vulnerable stacks. And then you also have Mifu that can give a little bit of vulnerables for herself. Programmatic can't exactly assist in that, but at least the timing of Programmatic's skills can also trigger when there's enough stacks. So, wait, actually, I don't get it. This team is hyper weird. Wait, what is Programmatic's combo skill trigger condition again? Is it when there's breach and physical susceptibility? So that's why he's using Programmatic. I was gonna say, doesn't it counter? Oh, it's just when stacks consume. There's a slight problem I have with this team. Isn't it much harder to breach and crush? Do you know what I mean to say? Don't you have to end up choosing one over the other? I don't think this team is very optimal. Because it's gonna be so SP hungry to, go for the breach first and then go for the crush next. Like, you need to make sure you have enough time to get into the crush state before the breach runs out. You can do the breach crush idea with the physical team is a lot easier because you can spam. But this team doesn't let you spam. So what? Rossi can also give 2 stacks? Oh, is it? Rossi is easy at giving 2 stacks? Okay, if that's the case, then yeah, they're trying to go for Rossi here because Rossi has big damage. That's why they're doing it. And at least you have a heat option to go for to do damage. This is an idea for a team. I don't think it's going to be popular. I think the ideal way to go is you go into the physical route. So you can get Mifu, Pogranishnik, Chen, and Li Feng. It would probably just be that. Yeah, I think Mifu is very much just a replacement for the other crushers, Dapan and Enmin. Like, it's just very strange as to, would you use 2 crushers in the team? Not really, because you can't really optimize either of them that easily. Unless you have even more crazy applicators in the future. Otherwise, it's like a direct 1-for-1 with one of them. You could make Li Feng Ember, yes, if you need sustain. Then if you don't need to sustain yourself, you can just put it as Li Feng. Would you use Mifu and Dapan in the same team? Technically, if you don't have Pugranishnik, no, but if you don't have Pugranishnik, you have no SP. No, I think you can't. We're not at the time of the game where you can have 2 crushes on the same team. You need newer operators to do it. Wait for the next 6-star physical at this point. If you want double crusher on the same team, you hope that there's someone who is a better Chen and gets 3 stacks. With Estella over Akikuri, it would have enough stacks for this team. Oh! I understand what you mean. It's more so, is the SP recovery for Akikuri influential here? Against this boss, I would say no. Because this boss doesn't have stagger nodes. Like, it's very hard to get the stagger node. But it is true to say that if this team had... Wait, does Rossi trigger at any type of Arts Infliction? She does, right? So because if she does, then yes, Estella works. Because Estella will provide the lift. And it becomes even easier to get vulnerable. Then this team will have no problem. But it's very difficult to lift when there's no solidification. Are we saying Alesh, Estella, Rossi, Mifu? That's wilding. Yeah, that's a shatter team. Okay, I let you ideate. How can you create a Mifu team that isn't pure physical? I don't think it's impossible. I just think, would a non-physical team apparently be better than the physical team? I don't think so yet. I'm sure people want to try to force a team with Mifu and Tang Tang. And I named that team just now. You could try a Mifu, Tang Tang, Alesh, Gilberta. But it might not be that ideal. Camille is the one I'm more interested in. I thought Camille was boring, but the more they showed him, the more I thought, actually, this guy may be insane.
灼热伤害，处决敌人时将造成大量的灼热伤害，并恢复一定的技力。
Heat damage basic attack. Okay.
即虚火焚影，卡缪召唤咸火血翼飞向敌人。
Okay, so he fires this, it's called the Fire Fangs Vesper Wings. Okay, I'm going to call them the Vesper Wings. So it attaches to an enemy
对
that's
一定范围
targeted,
内的敌人造成灼
and his skill will apply heat infliction in area. So very much like Wolfguard and Akekuri, where when you use their skill, if there's enemies in an area, they all get the heat
热
infliction.
伤害，并施加灼热附着。随后，邪火血翼会在主要的目标
So the wings will be on the enemy, and there's also a visual effect. There isn't just the icon, there's also the visual effect.
周围盘桓，对其施加长时间的虚弱和灼热脆弱效果。
When they have the Vesper wing on them, it gives them
主要的目
weaken
标周围盘桓，对其
and heat susceptibility. Specifically heat susceptibility, yeah? Weaken, if you're wondering what it is, weaken is lower enemies attack. So it doesn't quite serve much importance to a basic enemy, but it has importance to a boss. Because sometimes you might want to lower a boss attack if they are way too strong.
施加长时间的虚弱和灼热脆弱效果。该目标被击败时，邪火
If an enemy is defeated and they have the Vesper wing on them, it will jump to the next closest enemy. So the reason why this is possible is because all the enemies there are low HP now, and that you're seeing the jump to the final enemy. Okay, it looks visually appealing, but can you actually achieve that? Because if none of the enemies are low HP, then you're just gonna see it slowly jump, slowly jump, slowly jump. But okay, this is the thing that I find a little bit crazy about the jump. When it jumps, the enemies will take the weaken and the heat susceptibility debuff, but it also adds a heat infliction. Killing an enemy that has the wing gives another enemy the wing plus a heat infliction.
这意味着，即使是在有多个敌人的情况下，也不用担心已被施加战绩效果的敌人快速倒下而浪费激励了。
Okay, so the thing is, he might sound like a waste against a single target boss, because a single target boss won't have the Vesper wing jumping effect, but they will get the bonus of the supportive take more heat damage plus weaker attack. So not necessary that you must only put him for crowd mobs.
不过要注意的是，邪火血翼在场上最多只能同时存在一群。当管理员再次释放战绩时，已在场的邪火血翼会消
If
失。
you use the skill on a new enemy, the wing will transfer.
连续技追星之极，当有敌人的灼热附着被消耗或吸收后，就可以发动。卡缪在敌人之间来回穿梭，造成灼热伤害，并
Deal heat damage and restore a certain amount of skill points. The reason why this boy is going to be a replacement for Akekuri is Akekuri's combo trigger to gain SP, like to regain it, is when an enemy is staggered, which is very annoying because some enemies don't stagger easily and some enemies don't even stagger that much, and that you have to kill them to trigger her combo. But for his combo skill, the fact that the trigger is consumed makes it kind of easy, so you will get SP pretty simply. It's kind of like Pogranishnik, because Pogranishnik consumes the stacks. Akekuri's ult is good. Here's the problem. Both his ult and his combo also gains SP.
恢复一定的技力。当受邪火血翼影响
Okay, when an enemy is affected by
的敌
Fire
人
Fang
被
Vesper
卡
Wing,
缪的连续技命中时，还会在短暂延迟后发生一次爆裂，使该
ideally use your combo on an enemy with the wing, because it has an additional explosion damage.
敌人受到一次额外的灼热伤害，并使队伍获得连击效果。由于卡缪的战绩自带灼热附着，所以无论是被蓝丸厅这样的干员通过攻击吸收，还是通过其他附着造成的
If its consume also counts for arts reactions.
法术异常的方式消耗，都可以很轻松的触发卡缪的连续技。终结技猩红坠雨，卡缪展开单翼飞向空中，落下枪雨，并衔接横扫攻击，对大范围内的敌人造成灼热伤害，并施加灼热附着，同时恢复一定的技力。
Deals heat damage and restores skill point,
敌人
but
造
doesn't
成
cause
灼热
heat
伤害，并
infliction.
施加灼热
No, it does cause
附
heat
着，
infliction.
同时恢复一
Causes
定的
one.
技力。释放终结技后的一段时间内，卡缪的下一次战绩会被替换为追猎，追猎本身视为连续技。
After you use his ult. So this is a new thing that they're doing. It's like Mifu. Look at the bottom right again.
释放终结技后的一段时间内，卡缪的下一次战绩会被替换为追猎，追猎本身视为连续技，不消耗激励，且命中后可以恢复激励。
His main skill is replaced by the combo skill. It costs no skill points and restores skill points also.
并且无论目标是否受邪火血翼的影响，只要追猎命中，就可以使队伍获得连击效果。
Unlike the combo, where the combo states you need the wing to deal extra damage, if you use this combo after the ult, even if the enemy has no wing on it, it will get the extra damage.
这样一来，管理员们就可以在最需要的时机使用追猎来配合其他干员的战技或终结技来进行输出了。那么接下来，我们同样通过实战视频来了解一下卡缪在实际作战中的表现吧。
Why do you keep saying he has Link? He has Link? I didn't see the word Link yet. Have they said Link yet? Wait, there was a Link. Oh my god! Wait, what?
在短暂延迟后发生一次爆裂。
Wait, there's a Link symbol under the subtitle after the combo finished. And there is also a Link symbol after the
血液
out.
的影响
No.
10命中后可以恢复记忆力，并且无论目标是否受
Yeah, there's a Link symbol after the combo. Wait, Akekuri only provides Link on her out. But he provides Link on his fucking combo. Li Feng provides it on his combo, but he doesn't provide it on his out. This guy provides 2 links. That's insane. This guy's a Vanguard, by the way. This guy's the best Vanguard in the game right now.
首先，我们来对战一群天使，正好可以小试牛刀。我们使用时已经有
Okay, so I love the fact that when they did this showcase, they decided to not go for the Levantine team to show first. They wanted to show people a completely different idea. That is, what if you used him in a non-heat team? There's literally no other heat people here. He's using Gilberta, Perlica, and Ardelia.
小敌人受到了自然附着的影响。
So they all had nature infliction on them.
我们使用卡缪的战技，让血液飞向敌人
Let the wings fly
附着
and cause combustion.
大家注意看啊，残血的敌人因燃烧而倒下之后，血液又会立即飞向
The
下一个目标
combustion allowed the
再次施加
enemies
灼热
to
附着并触发燃烧
take
影响
damage over time,
如此往复
jump
我
onto
们
someone
仅使用了
else,
一次战技
take the
所
big
有敌人就
damage,
像多米诺骨
continue
牌一样
burning from the
立刻倒下
combustion,
当
fly
血
into
液
someone
飞向
else.
最后一只大型天使时，我们乘胜追击，立即开启卡缪和吉尔佩尔终结技，分别造成灼热和自然附着，利用腐蚀异常先削弱敌人，然后在使用卡缪的连线技后，配合卡缪终结技的追猎效果，完成一次华丽的收割。配合卡缪
Say corrosion and combustion is such a good pairing because corrosion lowers the enemy's resistance to arts, and combustion makes an enemy take heat damage over time. And then he's also applying heat susceptibility. So the enemy is just burning.
用腐蚀异常先削弱敌人，然后在使用卡缪的连线技后，配合卡缪终结技的追猎效果，完成一次华丽的收割。使用卡缪的连线
Is
技
this
后
like，
配合
in
卡缪终
wait,
结技
do
的
you
追
see
猎
his
效果，
moves?
完成一次华丽的收割。
I had the time to appreciate.
卡缪
What
终结
is
技
he
的追猎
doing?
效果，
This
完
is
成一
aura
次华丽
farming.
的收割。
What? We need to go frame by frame. He's just sliding with every of his moves.
接下来，我们要与3个历练者当辅哥来速战速决。一开场，我们立即使用卡缪的战技和终结技，为所有敌人施加灼热附着的同时，将追猎效果记在
Alright,
手
heat
中。
infliction on
随
everyone.
后开启莱万迪的终结技，
Levantines
攻
out.
击敌人的同时
Take
强化
everybody.
敌人的灼热附着，触
Go
发
for
了
it.
卡缪的连线
Use
技，
skill.
为队伍首先积攒了一层lin击效果。接下来，我们使用卡缪终结技留下的追猎技能，不但不会消耗连击层数，还会额外叠加一层。时机已到，开启满容获层数，不会消耗连击层数。接下来，我们使用卡缪的连线技，为队伍首先积攒了一层吸收了敌人的灼热中。随后开启莱万迪的终结技，攻击敌人的同时，恰好吸收了敌人的灼热附着，触发了卡缪的连线技，为队伍首先恰好效果积攒战技和终结技，为所有敌人施加
I'm
灼热
confused by
附着的同
something.
时将追猎效果
So his ult has the combo skill because his first skill is now changed to the
积攒
combo.
在手中。随后开启莱万迪的终结技，攻击敌人的同时，恰好吸收了敌人的灼热附着，触发了卡缪的连线技，为队伍首
Why does he say giving the team 1 stack of combo attack? What does that mean? Mistranslation doesn't seem wrong. You can stack link even more? Oh, combo attack means link in this case. Okay. I understand now.
敌人的同时，恰好吸收了敌人的灼热附着，触发了卡。
So they're using the link for her
为队
skill
伍首先
is
积
what
攒了
this
一
meant to
层
say.
累积效果。接下来，我们使用卡缪终结技留下的追猎技能，不但不会消耗连击层数，还会额外叠加一层。时机已到，开启满容获层数的莱万汀战技，
Yeah, use
配合
the
上2层连击带来的大。
you would still. So here's the thing. This just made me think that you might still use Camille and Akekuri in the very same team because you can get triple link now. So every single time that you need to use Levatine's skill, you make sure that before Levatine's skill procure, you have a link. You use Akekuri out before you use her skill, link, use Levatine's skill, boom. Use Camille's combo attack, link, boom. Use his out, link, boom. Like, you're just going. No, you don't stack the link. You time the link. You don't like link. I don't think that's how you should be using it. You like time when you do the link such that every time before you use her skill in her ult, you do it. You guys are saying link stacks is diminishing return. So what I'm saying is you don't stack it. You just time it, right? Every single time you just use one stack of link per skill use of her. That's going to be a very, very interesting idea that people are going to pursue. So I would think that if I have Camille and I'm using Levitate, I would still use Akekuri because that's just insane SP gain on the team. Like, even right now with Akekuri alone, SP still feels like a problem sometimes. So I feel like Camille will solve that. And there's nothing, it doesn't hurt to have more SP generators on the team. So this is gonna be good. And then you still have Wolfguard because Wolfguard is a good heat applicator. I guess you have to drop Akekuri if you need a sustain, which you'll use Adelia. Or unless you value corrosion, then you use Adelia. And it's not bad to have corrosion because corrosion is good to lower their stats and take more heat stuff. He looks crazy versatile, by the way. I guess the only team that he can't work with is a physical team. But even then, you could pair him with Rossi. Like, if you pair him with Rossi, he applies a heat application, like a heat infliction. Rossi steals it to make a vulnerable stack. But if you kill the guy, like if you kill the enemy with the wing, and the wing jumps, it's another heat infliction. And then Rossi's gonna like that, and then cause another vulnerable stack. Like, him and Rossi actually becomes a vulnerable farmer. And he is also providing Link. If you use Link onto Rossi, her ult will go huge. So, is this character not, like, extremely future-proof? He seems like the bigger must-pull than Mifu, I feel. He's gonna be very good in a cryo team also. If you, again, have the Vesper wing on someone, right, you have a heat infliction. If you want to solidify the people, you can, right? After he does the heat infliction, you solidify them, like with Tang Tang or something. And then, once the enemy dies, you cast another heat infliction onto someone else, and you can solidify that guy. And you can make it jump and jump and jump, and you solidify the next guy. Yeah, it's any reaction that consumes heat. So, you could also pair him into electrification teams if you wanted to. Actually, that's weird. You can also pair him with, like, Fang Yi's team. Like, if you ran Fang Yi, holy shit, that's jack insane. Wait a minute. You could do Fang Yi, Perlica, Arknight, and Camille. Because you can make, like, you know how it's so annoying sometimes because you need to wait for the electrification? But you can, like, put Camille's skill, use Perlica, cause electrification, use Fang Yi skill. Or you can remove Arknight. Yes, you could remove Arknight and then you put Akekuri. Like, Akekuri, Camille, Perlica, and Fang Yi. It actually does farm Fang Yi very well. Okay, this boy is just... Oh my god, he's gonna be considered for like every single team in this game. He's like the bigger Akekuri right now. How can you replace Arknight? What is his combo cooldown? It's probably longer than Arknight, so it's not that great. I cannot see who he's not good with. Is there any team that he will never work? No way, right? I don't think so. It looks very helpful. Yeah, you can't... Okay, if you're going physical route, you must have a hybrid. That's it. Camille is a must pull. Yeah, okay. I've never said this about any Endfield character, and you know, you don't have to chase for meta and all that kind of thing. But if you're asking me, like, are we seeing must pulls? I think we just got our first, genuinely. I think he's a must pull. Yeah, bro's like the second coming of Gilberta. But is Gilberta a must pull? I mean, Gilberta has influenced so much of the later part of the game, but I think he's more valuable than Gilberta. Alright. Congratulations, Camille is now the biggest chat of this game. Will the Sui proxy overtake him? I wonder.